Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this program today. And at the onset, I would like to thank S.V. Kalairaj and Scalivers for inviting me for this program on team building. It's going to be a very colorful program. And today's color is red. And since today's color is red, all my slides will be in red color. In today's program, I am going to talk about teamwork in pharma marketing. And that brings us to the basic question. What is pharma marketing? We all know that pharma marketing is all about prescription generation. The health of a company, the health of a brand is determined by the number of prescriptions which are being generated for that organization or for the brand and not the volume sales. Having said this, prescription generation becomes a very important component of pharma marketing. And the key drivers of prescriptions are the strategy and the strategy execution. Who makes the strategies? It is the marketing team or the brand manager. And who executes the strategies? It is the medical representatives. So the drivers of prescription and the drivers of brand building are basically the brand managers and the medical representatives. The drivers of prescriptions are the brand managers and the medical representatives. At this juncture, I would like to ask you a small question, especially to my young friends. If the brand managers are responsible for giving a good strategy and the medical representatives are responsible for executing the strategy, who is accountable for strategy execution? Who is accountable for strategy execution? Can you please respond on the chat box?
Sir, both are equally.
Can you
The
please
area
respond?
manager,
What? Who
the area
else?
manager,
Sir, frontline
Frontline
manager.
managers.
area manager.
Anybody else?
Frontline
Apart from
managers.
area manager, anybody else? Yeah. Whoever has said area manager or the first line manager is absolutely correct. Is the first line manager who is accountable for strategy execution. And the logic is very simple. Medical representatives, they are responsible for strategy execution. But to whom do they report? They don't report to the brand managers. Brand managers have no authority over the medical representatives. The medical representatives report to the area manager or the first line manager. So therefore, it is the first line sales manager or the area manager or district manager. They are accountable for strategy execution. Having said that, very often you find that the brand managers and the first line managers, they are in conflict, just like Tom and Jerry. Whenever the sale is poor, the brand managers will say that the strategy execution has been very poor. Whereas the first line managers will say the strategy is not clear, we have not understood the strategy. Or they may even say that the strategies are not implementable. To which the brand managers may respond, medical representatives do not communicate. And the first line managers will respond, but the communication is so difficult. You have used so many technical jargons, and it becomes difficult for the medical representative to verbalize. Then the brand managers will say, sales managers have only a short-term vision. And the marketing team will respond, the brand managers are out of touch of reality. They do not even work in the field. Most of the brand managers, they are Excel managers. They sit in the air-conditioned offices, work on the Excel and give us strategies. And the brand managers respond, yes, but the first line managers and the sales team, they may be working, but mostly on the 28th or the 29th during the closing. They do not put any efforts in prescription generation. And the field managers respond, whenever the brand managers they come to the field, they behave like big bosses. And though the conflict continues, the Tom and Jerry fight continues. How do we put an end to this conflict? We can put an end to this conflict by elevating the levels of the first line sales managers as an arm of the extended arm of the brand managers in the corporate office. Brand managers in pharma must remember, it is impossible for a brand manager to build a brand in pharma without the help, without soliciting efforts from the first line sales manager. So in fact, the first line sales managers, they are an extended arm of the brand managers and they are responsible for strategy execution. Therefore, why not nomenclature them as field brand managers? The moment you nomenclature them and call them as field brand managers, their status is elevated. They feel they are different and they will actually feel that they are an extension of the head office brand management team. Many years back, to be precise, somewhere in 1960, I saw this movie Ben-Hur, which then ran in Metro Cinema, not Calcutta, Metro Cinema, Mumbai. This was a very long film, 4 hours, and had 2 intervals. But one of the highlights of the film was a chariot race. And the chariot race went on for almost 40 minutes. Even today, after 60 years, I can distinctly see that chariot race. The horses are running and the charioteers, they are whipping the horses. Now just imagine, if one horse of a chariot runs at 50 miles per hour and the other horse, it runs at a speed of 100 miles per hour, what can happen to the chariot? The chariot will collapse, and naturally, this chariot may not be able to run the race. And this is exactly what happens. In pharma brand building, the corporate brand manager is one of the horses, and the other horse is the field brand manager, and both have to run at the same speed. In other words, the corporate brand managers have to give a brilliant strategy, and the field brand managers, they have to execute the strategy. And who is the charioteer? The charioteer is the head of marketing and sales. The charioteer is the head of marketing and sales. So it is for the head of marketing and both the corporate brand managers and the field brand managers run at the same speed to build a strong brand, while the corporate brand managers will give a brilliant strategy. The field brand managers, they need to execute the strategy, and this is what I call teamwork. And just by elevating the field managers to field brand managers, this problem of conflict between the brand managers and the field managers can be resolved to a very great extent. Strategy execution is a dismal failure in most organizations. And if military teams performed as well as corporations on strategy execution as the corporates do, they would lose any war. This is what Peter Delici said in one of the issues of Harvard Business Review. He says that the strategy execution in the US corporates is so bad, and if the same standard of corporate strategy execution is applied in the military would lose any war. Coming to Indian pharma, how good is the strategy execution in pharma India? Many may recall late Professor Tarun Gupta, who was then heading Glaxo as GSK was then known. And at that time, the position of Glaxo was precarious. It is only when Professor Tarun Gupta took over Glaxo, things started changing. And Professor Tarun Gupta was known more than anything else for getting the strategies executed. In fact, I would say he was ruthless in getting the strategies executed by the area manager. Even his behavior toward the area managers, the behavior toward the medical representatives was totally, vastly different. He was very, very friendly with the medical representatives, but with the area managers, like the charioteer, he used to sit with a whip. I once met him when I was the product manager in Sun Pharma. He was my guru, he was my mentor, and he used to come to Sun Pharma for continuously 3 years. He came, and all my knowledge about brand management is from him and, of course, from Professor Chittamitra. And during one of the training programs he had with me, during lunch, I asked him, "Sir, people talk a lot about great strategy execution in Glaxo during your days. Can you tell us how you could manage it?" And his reply really surprised me. He says, "Vivek, I wish the strategy execution in Glaxo, even during my time, was as good as you think. Unfortunately, even in Glaxo, in those days, the strategy execution level was not even 25%. It was not even 25%. Now, 25% is the level of strategy execution in a company which was acclaimed for strategy execution. So you can just imagine what could be the state of affairs in other companies. I still remember last year, just before, not last year, only this year, just before lockdown, I had a meeting, a strategy meeting, a workshop with one of the leading companies from Bombay, 800 crore company, and they had 3 divisions. And we had a meeting at Lonavala in Hotel Farias. Every 2 days, one team used to come, and we had 3 teams which came for that meeting. And that team was of the top level sales manager, which means zonal sales managers, third line managers, and the brand manager, the entire brand management team. And in every of these meetings, I gave the people a small exercise. Pick up the top brand in your company, in your division, pick up the top brand in your division, and pick up the latest brand which has been introduced, and write down the strategy for both these brands. And when these strategies were examined along with the CEO of the company, we found every time there used to be 20 different strategies. What does it show? People have not even understood the strategy. So the strategy has not been understood. How can it be implemented? And that is the point which I want to draw now. What is the reason for failure of strategy execution, which then ultimately leads to brand building? You will not be surprised if I tell you that in the 21st century, except for a handful, 3 to 4 brands or 5 brands, no brands have been built in the 21st century. All the brands are age-old brands. Even today, Becosules, which is 70 years old, is always among the top 10. But why is it that in the recent years, no great brand has been built? Okay, let me tell again. Let me repeat again. Only very, very few brands. And one of the reasons could be because the strategies have not been communicated well. And if the strategy has not been communicated well, people will not know what the strategy is all about. And when I don't know what is the strategy, there is no commitment. People will disown the strategy. It's not my strategy. I am doing it because somebody has told me. I put my heart and soul in getting the strategy executed. And in the process, the whole strategy goes for a toss, strategy execution goes for a toss, and the brand also grows for a toss. And brand building comes to a grinding halt. What is the reason? Another reason, people are not measured for strategy execution. You witness any sales review meeting, witness any cycle meeting. Most of this meeting will center around numbers. How many calls missed? How many doctors missed? How many repeat calls missed? You have missed your target by these many units. Always numbers. But the process by which it has to be done, the strategy execution, that has never been discussed. The process seldom gets discussed. So, what is not measured does not get done is a simple maxim in management. So, strategy execution is not being measured, it will never get implemented. So, therefore, it's absolutely necessary that in cycle meetings, in sales review meetings, apart from discussing the numbers, more importance has to be given to the process of strategy execution. People who execute the strategies are an integral part of crafting the strategy. If we make the people who execute the strategies or those who are accountable for strategy execution, that is the area manager, the first line managers, they should be an integral part of strategy crafting. No strategy should be built or crafted or formulated without involving the strategy executioners, especially the first line managers and the second line managers. Jack Welch writes in his book, The Welch Way, that whenever an important decision was taken, used to involve as much as 5,000 people. But why go that far? Even in India, a great computer company, HCL, when Vinit Nair, he was the CEO of the company, he writes in his book, employees first, customers second. And he writes in his book that whenever any strategy was formulated or crafted or any new idea was to be implemented, he personally involved 8,000 people. If a company can involve 8,000 people, the biggest division of a company may be having, say, 1,500 people, and in that ratio, we may be having 250 to 300 first line managers and second line managers. It is really very difficult to involve them in crafting a strategy. So, for a robust strategy execution, my suggestion is that you should adopt the FAIR process. And when I talk about the FAIR process, it is building strategy into strategy execution in the strategy itself. Strategy execution should be inbuilt within the strategy in the brand plan. Now, what is that FAIR process and how FAIR process affect the people's attitudes and behaviors? So, in the strategy crafting process, Let us engage the strategy implementers and the people who craft the strategy. Let them discuss the strategy. Let them actually have healthy internal conflict, accept those ideas which are really good, reject those ideas which are bad. Like Tom and Jerry, you can keep on fighting here, but once the strategy is finalized, then it becomes sacrosanct. Then comes the second E, that is explanation. And during the explanation, top management or the top manager, he explains to the people why certain ideas have been accepted, why certain ideas have not been accepted. When the people are told, at least they get a feeling, okay, at least I have been listened to. Maybe my idea was not accepted, but I have been listened to. And then comes the expectation clarity. What is the clarity which should be there? The consequences of good strategy execution, that is the rewards, the consequences of poor strategy execution, that is punishment or reprimand. This will change the attitudes of the people. People will feel trusted and they will be more committed. The people will say, my opinion counts. And when my opinion counts, I will own the strategy. So the person who executes the strategy, he will actually own and say, this is my strategy. And when he says that it is my strategy, it is but natural the strategy execution is going to be top class. This will actually change the behavior of the people. There will be voluntary cooperation. People will go beyond the call of duty. They will put in that discretionary effort which is required for top class strategy execution. Does the fair process affect the people's attitude and the people's behavior? The presence or the absence of a fair process can make or break a strategy. Poor process can give you strategy execution, and the fair process has positive effects on the people's attitude and behavior. The building blocks of strategy execution. Yes, as we said, the third E, expectation clarity. Those who execute the strategy well, they should be rewarded. And of course, those who do not execute the strategy well, they should be reprimanded. Expand the people's capabilities. Ensure that they understand the strategy. Keep on repeating the strategy again and again and again. When I say keep on repeating the strategy again and again, do it in a very, very, very creative manner. And if you want to do it in a creative manner, the master of creativity is amongst the audience today, Mr. Shankar Das. You can always go to Shankar Das, sir, and tell him, how can I become more creative? Yesterday's speech I heard from Mr. Shankar Das was superb. And if you have missed it, I think you should see it on the YouTube. And then know yourself. So these are some of the building blocks of strategy. Another very important building block of strategy is have the right people in the right place. Today, you go to any pharma company, people in the marketing don't have a say in selection of people. And when the people in the marketing teams do not have a say in the selection of the people, naturally, they have to deal with whatever comes to them. If at every level people from the marketing team are involved in the selection process, whether it's a brand manager, whether it's a group brand manager, whether it's the marketing manager, or even the top head of marketing, they will be able to understand those people who can execute the strategies well. they can understand those people who are really passionate about strategy execution. And thus, with the help of the marketing team, the HR and the sales team will be able to get right people in the team, people who are capable of executing the strategy. I remember David Ogilvy has said in his book, of all the people, an advertising man has said in his book, whenever you select people who are better than you. Because if you select people who are not as good as you may soon end up having a company of dwarfs. But on the other hand, if you recruit people who are better than you, or at least they have the potential to be better than you, then you are raising a company of giants. But there is always a fear lurking in the mind of people. And what is that fear? That if I recruit people who are better than me, if I recruit people who are better than me, my position in the organization becomes shaky. That never happens. That is wrong fear, uncalled for fear people have. And I myself have experienced this when I was heading 2 divisions of Torrent. Every year we used to recruit people from IIM Calcutta, IIM Lucknow, and most of the people, many of them, or rather all of them, were better than me. I am just an ordinary graduate, and they are from IIM Calcutta, they are from IIM Lucknow. They have to be better than me, but I have never felt inferior to them, and I learned many, many, many things from them. Even today, I learn from my students, and some of my best gurus are my students. Many of my top gurus today are my students. Swarup Chanda, who is here in the audience. I don't know whether Shreya Gavde is here. Then Yuvraj Patil, who is another student of mine. He is my guru. Jitendra Girse. There are so many students of mine who are today my gurus. So don't worry, my friends. When you recruit people who are better than you, your position in the company becomes stronger. At best, you will be kicked, but kicked upwards to the higher position, never out of the company. So don't have that fear that I should not take people who are better than me. What we need is fully integrated sales and marketing team where the boundaries are blurred. A fully integrated sales and marketing team where the boundaries are blurred. Yes, there should be conflict, healthy conflict, and this conflict should be at this stage. Like Tom and Jerry should keep on fighting. But towards the end, I want our relations to be like Tom and Jerry. No matter how many times we fight, we won't be apart. Because after all, for both the sales and the marketing team, it is the corporate performance which matters more than anything else. So, quick summary of teamwork. I need to Fevicol. Yes, I like the term very much, Fevicol, to stick together. Fevicol, the sales and the brand management teams. Never forget, field sales managers are integral to brand building. In pharma, at least, you can never build a brand without a strong first line management. Build execution into the strategy, and of course, have the right people in the right place. Thank you very much. I was allotted 18 minutes, but I slightly transgressed the time. Excuse me for that. Thank you very much, and I'm stopping my share screening.
Thank you very much, sir. I think it is really Fantastic presentation, and we have been discussing a lot of things many times about the team, how to put the team, and especially in the sales, it is a big always a challenge that how you want to keep your field force in order, or how they ensure that field force keep motivating them. So these are things which essentially we need to really have the interesting point, and very interesting point what you have mentioned, that the execution strategy execution, and 25% of the strategy only is getting executed throughout. That is actually the way, if you really correct it, then actually that we can achieve towards 100% achievement. So the strategy execution comes when the team, where you say your sales managers and first line managers and field rep, they get aligned towards together on one single dot. So
Absolutely,
this is where
absolutely.
actually yeah, so that is where actually it comes over there. And you said a very interesting point on employee first, customer next. It has always people say no, customer first, but actually speaking, what to say is, employee. If you take care of the employees will take care of the customers. I think that is
Absolutely,
the
absolutely,
connotation.
absolutely, absolutely,
I think
absolutely.
that is what you want to see that. And then another interesting point what you touch upon is that fair process, how it changes the attitude and it changes the behavior. So what is major thing is today changing the attitude and behavior is a really a tough job, because if you really see any people, you cannot, it's really difficult. I even seen one simple thing is, you know, a kind of a security guy who have a very clear kind of different kind of attitude. So we need to really program the guy, even a small guy. We want to see how that guy want to make it change in the behavior. So that we need to ensure that we are giving him a feeling that we are adopting a fair process. I think that will make him to come into the system. So this is what actually I feel that we need to really share it on a point. Now there are a couple of questions comes from, and also there are certain interesting aspects have come. Just let us quickly go through the on points. Um, I think Sidera has also such a, in the discuss on the same point, that one very interesting point what you're told on that concept is called Russian doll, which
Absolutely,
means
absolutely,
hiring less
absolutely.
talented
Yeah,
people due to insecurity cause. I think this
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
one I think very predominantly available in, or it has been prevailed in India. But in India we find that many time when we people select, the HR guys select a very right talented guys, but when it comes to the marketing guys, they really reject the people and where they are actually good. So this is many times happened, and that's the way you find a signal of the company falling into. So this is where we need to really take care of that point. And
Yeah, we must really involve the marketing people in the recruitment of people at
yeah.
all levels, at all levels. This is my special appeal to the HR personnel if anybody is here today.
Okay, now we'll move into the question answer session. There are three questions which has come into the time of registration. What is the suitable leadership style in current scenario of uncertainty?
Suitable leadership style again has to be situational. We cannot have one fixed style. Flexibility in the style of leadership is what is really needed at this during these uncertain times.
How do you
Eh,
say, or what do you say on strategy and team building?
I didn't understand this question, strategy and strategy building. What exactly is the
Hey, well,
question?
it is a very similar point what we are talking about, that when you say team building,
Yeah.
so how we, correlate, or how you just relate both team building and strategy in terms of,
When
strategy
I'm talking
execution.
about team building here, I'm talking basically about the corporate team where the sales team and the marketing team they work in a cohesive manner for the greater corporate performance. There should be no you and I. Today, there's a lot of you and I. I'm in marketing, you're in sales, I'm in a different silo, you're in a different silo, and this is not what should happen. People must remember, especially the sales team must remember, and the marketing team must also remember that the field sales manager is an integral part of brand management. As I said earlier, he's an extended arm of the head office, the people who are going to execute the strategies. So therefore, they should work in cohesion, and that the head of the sales and marketing team, he should be able to manage that.
Yeah, Majumdar raised a question on how leadership can directly or indirectly influence the marketing plan or strategy to improvise the quality of customer care.
Once again, how leadership can
Uh,
directly or indirectly influence
Influence the
the.
marketing plan or strategy to improvise the quality of customer care.
First of all, there should be trust, mutual trust between the marketing team and the sales team. And that is where the head of sales and marketing team, he has to play a crucial role. It is he, the marketing head, who himself is responsible for bringing them together, for fevicalling them together. And when the strategy execution is at a high level, automatically the quality of customer care will improve. And when we are talking of customer care in the coming years, when you are going to talk about patient centricity, when you are going to talk about patient centric marketing, that will matter all more. Immediately, customer care may not be applicable to us, but yes, once we're in the thick of patient centric marketing, customer care, caring for the patient, ensuring that in the journey, the patient journey, at every stage the patient experiences happiness. That is what is going to happen in the future.
And there are very good appreciation has come from many people, and one of our beloved friend and panel member, Mr. ICS Verma, has appreciated. He said, wonderful session, sir, great insight.
Thank
And
you.
Mr. Pachayappan has also complimented that all the points were eloquently explained, Vivek, sir. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. And there are so many there, like Suraj has told, very succinctly delivered. It's a very interesting point that has been mentioned. And Arpan Kumar has told that, I mean, it's mentioned that employees are the internal customer. Yeah, you're right. I think
Absolutely.
they are really an internal customer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're right. And Bajendra has again has told a very interesting point, like fair process marketing comes from heart. Yeah, you're right. And then Bhaskar has mentioned that according to you, your experience, Vivekji, who are the more successful corporate brand manager promoted from the field from IIM or IIMs? So what he's asking is the corporate brand managers, is it
Uh-huh.
who come from field or IIMs? Who will be more successful?
Without hurting any of my people, I would say that people so far, great majority of the people who are successful at the top, they have started their careers as medical representatives. We
Yeah,
have
you're right.
amongst us, we have Shankar Das sir, we have people like Ganesh Naik, we have people like Madhav Kulkarni, we have people like Satish Dandekar. There are many, many more people who have started the field and then risen through the ranks. They have become very successful. But I'm not discounting that people from the business schools will not succeed in future. They do, but provided first they are humble. Second, they work in the field for at least 15 days in a month. And it's my submission to all of the marketing and sales head, the CEOs, that when you recruit people from the business schools, like they do in Hindustan Unilever, for the first 3 years, they should be sent into the field. People from Calcutta, Ahmedabad, they have to work in some remote villages in Lucknow, in UP and Bihar before they come to the head office. And if that sort of culture is built within the pharma industry, even people who are currently uh, graduated from business schools, they too can succeed. But they must know the ground level realities. Unless the the ground level realities are known, people will become only Excel sheet managers.
You are right, sir. I think I just want to mention one very interesting point. In my Kedila days, when I was
Yeah.
with Kedila Pharma, when all people, brand manager, everybody is sitting there, Mr. Modi, Indravardhan Modi, he is a senior Modi. He comes and see the people. He asks the people, if brand manager, what are you doing here? He says, sir, I am a brand manager. Okay, so what are you doing here? You have to be in field. Your customers in field. Your walls and chairs are not your customer. That's what he used to say. And this
Absolutely.
point, is really amazing and point what you mentioned. And I want to add one more point in the way. This is a very interesting question of field or IIMs. I put it in this way. If you're rise from field, okay, good. So you go to IIM, learn the technique and tools, so you become a successful manager. On the other side, you are coming from IIM, very good. Go to the field, then you become a successful manager. So you have to have a hybrid of these both in that both to have a cross section of yours, so which will
Absolutely.
bring you a success actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think Majid has added another point. Yes, so internal customers are happy, then they'll automatically take care of the external customer. The point
Yeah.
which we have
Yeah.
been discussing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Porto has also complimented you, sir. Is a good, worthwhile indeed.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Purpose.
Suraj has also mentioned that I think pharma market, the strategy of any company for a very specific brand is to increase the prescriber base and prescription. And I think Manoj Kumar Sinha also complimented. It's a great enlightened show. Kamini Sharma has mentioned that is a wonderful session. Prasanji Chaudhary has mentioned that is in a great session. Chitendra has also mentioned that as a true sir is without understanding pain of prescription generation, brand manager sounds unpractical and theoretical. I think this is really a lovely point, Jitendra, because in a very time, many happens many times. People are not able to understand the basic process and looks like it is not actually a theoretical. You are right. And Yadharma Labs representative has mentioned that is very much thanks, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Vivek, sir,
Thank
for
you.
sharing insight session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Varmaji complimented the session.
Wow.
And Pratima Madani also has mentioned marketing managers and NSM industries more biased towards NSM for leadership. Right. Okay. Probably I think you want to give some light on that point, sir. Marketing
Uh,
managers and NSM industry is more biased towards NSM. Why? For leadership. Why?
because today, naturally, every company in trouble is looking for the top line. And who brings the top line? The top line is brought by the NSM.
Chandan Nahere said is a good insight, Vivek sir. Rahil said it's a good session. He added one very good point. Both brand managers and field manager have to take the ownership of the strategy and execution. I think you are right.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, sir. And Javed has told, thank you very much, sir. I think any of the panel members want to discuss or share any point, we put up points, want to discuss a couple of points, sir. Anybody, any of other members, they can open and they can unmute and they can
Yeah,
open
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'd love to hear something from Verma sir.
There are two questions which I thought I will also try to answer. Of course,
Definitely, definitely, sir. Of course.
one is this management grads. Are they successful, or the guy who has come up from the field is successful? So the way I look at it, I have seen people from management institute coming and becoming successful, as well as failures, as well as the field guys coming up. And no, Professor Vivek quoted me also. Yes, that's right. So I feel very happy about my brand management days, as well as my field. I started at field. So I am successful, but there are also a couple of people whom I know who came from field, but who are not very successful. So the point is that even who has a ground level customer understanding, okay, whether he is from sales background or totally from an institute background, if that individual has a customer understanding, okay, then that guy is likely to be successful. So that's where I have one or two critical point that every year we used to go to one of the big management institute in Bombay to pick up summer interns, as well as for projects, as well as brand managers for my current organization. And interestingly, the first 2-3 years, the people who got thoroughly trained in field work as part of their curriculum. A year ago, this year we didn't go because of COVID, but a year ago I was totally surprised that the students were keen on doing desk projects instead of field work projects.
Oh.
Here is a company which says that, and in our Curatio, we don't give 5 minutes, 10 minutes for project presentation. Right from me, my founders, everyone, and the entire PMT, all of us sit for project presentation, and we tell the people that there is no time limit. You can go on and on. Whatever you want to present, you present. But interestingly, I found that the people were keen on doing desk projects than going into the market and spending time with customers and finding out data and insights. So I gave this as a feedback to the institute. So that approach, I felt, I want to be straight away from institute, getting into a brand management cabin is very, very unlikely to make them successful. That's my response. So one need to be thoroughly grounded in terms of meeting customers. The second part is, whether there is a sexiness in terms of becoming a national sales head. That attractiveness, the sales head has more powers on people. Okay, and whereas many people think that people, when they are ready to listen to me, that is more powerful position. I belong to the school where the power doesn't come from designation, as long as you are very good at influencing people. So now it may be reality in some companies, especially sales-driven, sales-oriented companies. The sales manager position could be very, very powerful, and people may be scouting for it. But I would always suggest to the people who are asking for which one I need to chase, look for a profile where you can influence people. Now, the moment you become an influencer of people, whether it is brand management or sales management, you will continue to be a strong influencer. So look for that characteristic than for the role or position is my explanation for these two questions. I did enjoy this session when Professor Vivek talked about how this is like a railway track. Both are together as a team, sales and marketing. And he brought out the example of one horse running at 100 kilometer speed and another horse running at 50 kilometer speed. That is sure to topple the chariot. So that understanding of the sales team having a marketing orientation and marketing team having an understanding of how I am going to simplify it so that my sales guy is in a position to know the why and what part of strategy. I think both, if they do it together like a railway track, I think the engine
absolutely
tracks will keep running as long as it is resourced correctly. So thanks for Professor Vivek.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shankardas, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Any other points? Any other want to share any point?
Yeah, Kalaraji. I see as
Yeah.
for my.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Babaji.
Yeah, I remember when I was a area manager. So I used to tell my people that if I like those product managers, I used to tell them, okay, ये कलराज का है, ठीक है, हम लोग, we'll do the target. And if somebody don't like, I used to tell, नहीं, इसको नहीं करना है, जो भी करना है वो तुझको करेगी.
It's a reality, it's a reality. Yeah.
So frontline manager actually drives the complete strategy, and not the national sales manager or any others. So I'm just going back 20 years after your session. I am recollecting all my memories of product management and the fight between the sales and marketing.
Yeah, actually, you are absolutely right. Basically, if you are a successful brand manager, he should sell his strategy to the field person first. So
Yeah.
then it will become a successful. Then he also will become good salesman or successful salesman.
That's exactly what I said. Not only just sell, but they should be made a part of the
correct
strategy crafting
Yes.
team. They
Yes.
should be involved in the strategy crafting.
That is true. That is true. So when I came to head office as a sales and marketing head, so we involved all the area managers. So because they were reporting to me directly, that was a flat structure in Cipla. So we used to call them as a think tank, and we took the strategy from them. We involved them, and that is how we launched Livepsi, a brand called Livepsi, Levetiracetam. It was the 18th branch in the market, and today it's in the top 3 or top 5. So
Great.
it was actually built by the people, completely built by the people.
So thank you all for the lovely feedback and discussion, chat, and interaction, and especially I think thanks Mr. Sangardas and Mr. Verma for giving a very fantastic support and feedback, and thank you very much Vivek sir for your very deep, thorough insight on the subject. Tomorrow we will be having a very insightful session. Strategy is actually everybody's baby. We like the strategy, right? So if anything, that if your word strategy is a very been maybe can be overused the word, but still word strategy always excite the people actually. So tomorrow we will be having a topic on strategic approaches to tackling the crisis, and thereafter will be given by Mr. Sandeep Bhattacharya. I feel him is one of our good friend and guru for us in terms of strategy, because we worked together in in Fulcrum, where he used to give amazing strategy insight. I never been seen that kind of thing. I always feel that that I'll be always thinking that the analysis in SMRC data or IMS data, I always feel that I've used a lot. So nothing more to learn. Something that's what I always feel that. So there's always when you feel that, then always there's a big scope is there. You should remember. And he made me to realize that yes, there are so many things to be learned. In fact, the kind of lovely strategy workshop we have done at a time of there, where we really brought so many sea changes and shield with that kind of workshop we have worked together on that subject. So I was really amazing. And the last session we had on strategy, he has given a very interesting thing on focus, how we need to do focus, especially which is relevant for us today time. So tomorrow I think you're going to unveil a couple of more strategic insight. So please, I request all of them to join tomorrow's session. With this, we will come to an end. Thank you very much for all time being with us. Now, webinars, as I told you, that enabling you not only just think but also to perform. Thank you very much. Thanks for all being with us. Please join us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Kalairaj sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Warm regards from Jitendra Gera se.
Hi. Thanks, Jinendra.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Hi. Nice to see you.
Yeah, long time.
Okay.
Great to
Yes,
see you.
yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Look forward to more.
Great. I've seen lovely to be
Yeah.
with you.